What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. There's a fly in here. Get that shit out of my face. But what's up? This podcast is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, at allthingscomedy.com, Libsyn, Stitcher, and you can also watch it on my YouTube page, Ian Soccer Comic Rant Edwards. So check it out there. And what do we have? We have our sponsor, onthevolleyapparel.com. Go to onthevolleyapparel.com, and they have tanks, T-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts with soccer emblems on there, mostly like hip-hop logos mixed with soccer, so you'll get some cool-looking, what do they call that, mashups of T-shirts. This is one of the T-shirts that I got on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there you go. Great angle. I can put my gut back down and you can see it. See how it's like cut. It's not gonna look as great on your body as it does on mine. It's this physique is just ridiculous, but you'll still look good in them. Use my promo code Comic Rant, and you get 20% off. So go to onthevolleyapparel.com. That's the sponsor. And today I have a guest. And the great thing about comedy and the comedy community, like allthingscomedy.com is a comedy community site, and a bunch of comics have podcasts at All Things Comedy. Bill Burr and just Sam Tripoli, just, Brody had one, and Bobby Lee is also a member of the allthingscomedy.com podcast community, and he's a true friend, and he's here today, and he said he's going to come through, and he came through on time. Everybody welcome my co-host, guess Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee, everybody. How you doing, Bobby? You good? Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Bobby is not here. It's just me, but maybe Bobby will be here soon. I got a few phone calls from him saying he's going to be 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 20 minutes late. So I said, I'm going to start without you, and then when you get here, and we'll talk and have some fun. So, all right, this week, Premiership. It's weird because it's round 31 and round 30 still at the same time, because some teams played FA Cup games and some teams played Premiership games. And one of the teams that played a Premiership game is a team at the top of the league, Liverpool. And they played Fulham at Fulham. Scott Parker's, what's his third game at the helm after the firing of Ranieri. And, third or second game. And Liverpool needs to win if they want a chance to win a Premiership title, first title in 29 years. They can't afford to tie or lose, drop points. They have to win. And they started the game, Liverpool fashion, going at Fulham. But Fulham, I got to give them credit. I didn't watch a lot of Fulham before. I only watched them lose mostly because I watched them play all the top teams. But last week I saw them play Chelsea, and they gave Chelsea, let me see. Let me go to make sure. They lost to Chelsea. No, last week they lost to Leicester. The week before they lost to Chelsea, and they gave Chelsea a good fight, And then they lost to Leicester 3-1, and now they've lost to Liverpool 2-1. But, it's like that Aaron, that character in wrestling, like S.D.W. Jones, was that his name?
You have to describe it more.
Well, those guys in the WW. Remember when it was the WWF and not the WWE? The guys that would come in the ring, put up a good fight, and always lose.
Those are known as jobbers.
Jobbers, yes.
Yeah.
Fulham is a jobber. You know what I'm saying? They're going to put up a good fight, but when it's time to pin Hulk and a referee raises the Hulk's hand 2 times, it's going to look like you're going to beat the Hulk. But then on the third raise, Hulk's hand's going to stay still. He's going to start shaking, and he's going to start lifting the jobbers and the Fulham teams off their back, and they're going to score, and they're going to win. So
they're the Brooklyn Brawler.
The Brooklyn Brawler. Was it SDW Delivery Jones? He had a lot of names in one name.
Yeah.
SD Smith Delivery Jones, the Coco Bewares, the
Coco was legit. There was
for a bit, yeah.
Barry Horowitz was one.
Hilarious.
He pat himself on the back.
He had to be a jobber.
The Repo Man.
With that name, the Repo Man.
Yeah.
Never only got repoed himself. Never repoed anybody. It's hilarious. So yeah, that's Fulham. That's to give you an idea of what Fulham is like. So, and they're at the bottom of the table. They only have 17 points, and they're fighting the top team, or the team that wants to be king, and the team that can't afford to lose points. And Fulham can't afford to lose a game because they don't want to get relegated. And Scott Parker, this is his first coaching job, and he's trying to make something out of it. But if you go to the Premiership website and you look at the last 5 games for Fulham, you have 3 red lights with an L in the middle, as if you need the L to say that those red dots mean losses. You know what I mean? Just for extra emphasis, just in case you are clueless. Red with L's. Meanwhile, Liverpool through Saudi Mane and I'm trying to remember his name right now. James Milner. Well, the James Milner situation was funny because he came on as a sub. I think the score was 1-1 at the time. And he came on as a sub to it was 1-0 at the time. And he came on as a sub to as a professional player who's won the league before with Man City, to calm his team down. So he comes on the field, and the first thing he does is slices a clearance and puts Virgil van Dijk, who has been, in everybody's mind, the most outstanding defender in the league, in trouble with a ball that's looping over his head and heading towards his goalkeeper. And on his back is Ryan Babel, the Fulham player who used to play for Liverpool, whose head is dyed burgundy. I'm not even gonna, you could dye your hair a lot of colors. That will make you're a black guy who's about 6 feet with dyed burgundy, kind of pink hair. And all right, I guess it makes you stand out. Does it make you a better footballer? I don't know. But you better play good with your hair looks like that. How about that? So Ryan Babel is on his back, and Virgil van Dijk, who's been a very outstanding defender, and he now has to get the ball back to his keeper or clear it or do some fancy move, get Babel off his back, turn, and pass the ball. And Virgil van Dijk's choice was to head the ball back to the keeper. I was listening to a clip of a show where they were discussing the play, and the problem was the keeper did not say anything to Virgil van Dijk. And so Virgil van Dijk opted to he made the decision, headed it to the keeper. Keeper was shocked. Babel was thank you, ran by them both, and they just watched Babel and his burgundy pink hair put the ball in the back of their net to make it 1-1. Great job, sub Wilner. Great job. That's exactly what the coach brought you on the field for, to calm the team down. Now they're tied 1-1 with Fulham, a bottom dweller in the league. And that definitely terrified Klopp, because oh no, not only are we going to lose, we're going to lose to Fulham. This is a give me game. We can get a win. We're supposed to come in here, get a win, get 2 points above Man City so that when they play in a few weeks, at least the pressure's on them. And God damn it, now we're tied. We're dropping points. But Liverpool got it together, got back in the fight. And, you just got to keep running, man. And you got the skill, you got the ability. You got to keep trying to penetrate, get those crosses in, go through those 1-2s through the middle. And even though he didn't score, and it's not an official assist, and on the radio and on the TV shows, they're saying that Salah, they're talking about him not scoring, but Liverpool got a penalty in around the 80th minute of the game because Salah took a shot. The keeper couldn't hold it. He parried it. And when he parried it, Mane was right there. And Mane jumped in front of the ball and went for it. And the keeper knew Mane was going to take a shot. So then the keeper put his arm out and obstructed Mane. And Mane acted like your daughter when she doesn't want to go to school. He just did the electric baby girl daughter cry slide and fell to the floor. He acted as if the goalkeeper's arm was like an electric fence and just went into shock, went to the ground, penalty. And then James Milner, the ball slicer, goes up, steps up to redeem himself and puts the ball in the back of the net. And that's the story of the game. It wasn't easy, but they did it. And if you're going to be champions, you have to figure moments and situations like this out. And you have to get yourself out of trouble. And you have to dig deep. And you have to be professional. And you have to come back from mistakes and fix things. And James Milner, he's like money when it comes to penalties. You know what I mean? He's going to put them in the back of the net, scores, boom. And now Liverpool are at the top of the league for at least 2 weeks because it's an international break and there will be no Premiership games. So, boom. Liverpool's up top. Man City, they did not play. They have 74 points. They played Swansea in the FA Cup. So let me just go down to that. So the hilarious thing about this was Swansea somehow goes up 2-0. And I saw the highlights of this game because who knows what channel the FA Cup games are on in America. All the games used to be on 2 channels. Now, every little other channel is dipping in on the football thing and shit is all over the place. And some of those channels you might not have. So, Swansea, I got to give it to you. You're not in the Premiership and you take a lead over Man City. And the goal scorer celebrates his ass off. And that's the first mistake. You're playing Man City. I'll be, guys, let's not celebrate. Let's just get back to work. But he celebrates his ass off as if this is not the golden goal. You have a lot more match to play. You know, this shit just started. So then they go back to work and boom, guess what? Crazy. Swansea scores again. They celebrate even crazier. It's like, oh, this is over. We won. You know, Pep is on the side, nervously drinking. The Man City coach drinking a bottle of water. He's like, I got to make some adjustments. And I definitely will make these adjustments. And all you did was get Pep up out of his seat to the sideline to make calls that adjusted the shit out of the game. And of course, Man City is not going to lose to Swansea. You got to focus, Swansea. These guys are detailed orientated. They prepared for you as if you were a Champions League finals team. As if you were in the Champions League finals with them. Man City is not fucking around with any team. They treat everybody respectfully. And it's a type of respect you don't want. They pay detail and attention to everything you do because they're here to win the quadruple. And yeah, Man City scores 1 goal, makes it 2-1. I think it was Bernardo. They scored 2 goals, made it 2-2. And once it was 2-2, you think it's going to be 3-2, but you know that 3 ain't going to be Swansea's. And you could just see Swansea, the reality of life coming back. You know, like somebody threw a bucket of cold water on Swansea's face as they were all in the bed together. And they're like, yeah, this is why they call them Man City. And Man City comes back, wins 3-2. What did you think of that game, Bobby? Really? That's interesting. Wow. All right. I agree with that. We'll talk more about that later. All right. So who's next? Who played FA Cup? Who played? Spurs. Spurs did not play this weekend. I don't think they played. Let me see. I don't think they played FA Cup either because they're out of the FA Cup. I think we knocked them out the FA Cup. So Spurs did not play at all. So they're resting. They're third still with 61 points. And they're third with 61 points. They did not play anything. And their last game was a loss to Southampton. And now Arsenal. Did Arsenal play this week? It's tough to remember. Let me see. Did Arsenal play? What's this date? Nah, they did not play FA Cup because we knocked them out of that. We meaning Man U. And they did not play in the league. Their last league game was against us. And I guess I have discussed that. They beat us. They beat us. Arsenal beat us. They're fourth. They have 60 points. They're 1 point behind Tottenham. And go down to Man U. We played in the FA Cup this week. And we played Wolves. And man, they're just you just can't fuck with this team, you know. You just can't fuck with this team. Wolves, they are not a game, and they have a thing that they do. It's almost like they have our same game plan, you know, where they definitely have a game plan when it comes to them playing the top teams, which is sit back a little bit, be patient. It's not like a complete circle of the wagons like the lower table teams. You know, it's a more assertive, like defensive structure but they are ready to counter. They got speed, they got precision, and they will find the holes in you, and they have goal scorers. And they'll frustrate you, and they'll pressure you. They'll make you make mistakes. They're just all professionals over there, skilled professionals. And it's just sad news for me to say that Man U lost 2-1 to Wolves. Like, they broke on us, and they scored. And then we went looking for the equalizer, and right after they scored the first one, they scored the second one. And I think one Jimenez and Jota. And I think part of our problem was like our lineup. Let me see if I can find our lineup. Here it is. Let me find more of our lineup. Dalot plays better when he's playing in front of Young. Like one day Young is going to retire. Maybe next year after next. But I don't think Dalot is going to be his replacement. Dalot is like Pereira. Pereira's not a great defensive midfielder. He's a better attacking midfielder. You know, like so Dalot let this guy dribble through him and two other United guys. Lingard, who's usually a hustler, and shut shit down. That's what he's out there for. He kind of like slept on this play, and the goddamn Wolves guy fucking dribbled through 3 Man U guys and fucking scored. And then in the second goal was another play of determination with the number 9 for Wolves has the ball. He's surrounded by red shirts, but fuck it, just makes a turn on the dime and shoots at the same time. Goalkeeper can't see the ball coming on the ground, through a crowd of his shirts and in the back of the net. And Romero, the Man U FA Cup goalkeeper, who had a really good game. He'd saved some savable shots, but good saves, and then those 2 went in. And then we got one back at the end through Rashford, where he's scored pretty much the exact same goal as the Wolves' second goal. But yeah, I haven't felt that way in a while. Like, Man U has been on a winning streak, and the worst that has happened to us is that we tied. We tied. But Diego Jota scored on a straight up breakaway off one of our set plays. But the worst that's happened to us is we've tied, and then we lost to PSG, so we experienced that loss, but we avenged it. And then after we avenged it, we were so high, we lost to Arsenal, which is like, I'll take a win over PSG if we have to get the win and it comes with a loss to Arsenal. Like, an improbable win, yeah. So because you can understand the loss to Arsenal, First of all, they're supposed to be better than us. They started the season in better shape than us. And we've beat them recently. And, yeah, we expect to beat them again. But this PSG high, it's hard to come down from. So, the game against Arsenal was in a perfect space and time for them to beat us. But then to go against Wolves, who's behind us in the table, but again, it's perfect for them. Like, they're so cagey. They're so cagey. This is definitely like a trap game. And now we fell into the trap and we're out of the FA Cup. And which actually might be fine, because I'm not even sure I like us being in the Champions League, which we'll get to later. Because if we're not going to win the Champions League, which I don't think we are, why waste time being in it? Who cares how far you get if you're not the winner at the end of the thing? You know what I mean? So, yeah, the only good thing about the win is that win against PSG probably solidifies Solskjaer's job as manager of Man United. So that's about it. But, yeah, so we lose. FA Cup match. And if you go back to the Premiership tables, we are still we're in 5th. So tops is Liverpool. Man City's behind them with 74 points. Spurs got 61 points. Arsenal is 4th. Man United is 5th with 58 points, with 2 points behind Arsenal, 1 point behind Spurs. But the good news is we can finish 3rd this year. When we were a distant 5th, 11 points out of 4th place. Now we're 3 points out of being 3rd. So maybe being out of the FA Cup finals or the FA Cup tournament is good for us. We can focus our energy more. Chelsea's next. So another thing. Like, whenever something bad happens for Solskjaer and Man U, something good happens, something externally good happens. And that good thing this week was also one of the things that happened last week that was good for us when we dropped points. Chelsea, who was 6th, they play Everton. They play an Everton team that hasn't beaten a top 6 team or a top 5 team or a top 4 team or any of the top teams since in 2 years. You know, and even I've noticed it this season how Everton has not beaten anybody at the top of the table, specifically the top 6. So they've recently put up better performances. You know, they put up a great performance against Liverpool. I think they got a tie against Liverpool, right? And they gave Man City a fight. And I think they lost. How much did they lose to Man City? Let me see. Let me go to Everton. See if I can find that. 0-0 Liverpool. All right, it's too far back to see immediately. But I think they lost by 1 or 2 goals. But it was a good game. Really good game. Very impressive. But now Everton finally, on their latest try on beating one of the top 6, put in a performance, and they drop Chelsea 2-0, take all the points home. And this is great news for Man U. It keeps Chelsea off our back. Chelsea had a game in hand too. So now they lose that game in hand advantage. They have 57 points. We have 58. And we're like, all right, cool. Now we have to just do what we got to do, which is chase down Spurs and Arsenal. And so Everton won something. They won a game of note and value. And good for them. And this opens up more questions about Sarri, motivating his team, Chelsea, and his inability to do that at a very critical time, you know? And if, you know, there's all the rumors about Hazard wanting to leave and go to Real Madrid, and if Chelsea does not finish in the top 4, it's more likely that he'll leave to one of the biggest teams in the world, if not, you know, Real Madrid. Like, why would he stay to play Europa League when he could be in the Champions League and Zidane is his coach, and he'll get all the light and attention that you could possibly get. So Man U finishing ahead of Chelsea will ultimately destroy Chelsea. Because if Hazard leaves, how many other players are going to want to leave? They don't. Then Sarri will probably get fired. A lot of this is going to fall apart. So this league is 6 teams strong at the top. It might not be 6 teams strong at the top come next season. Like, Chelsea's going to be considerably weakened. What do you think, Bobby? Mm-hmm. Right. Still on your way? All right, I see it. So, yeah. Bobby said he'll answer that question when he gets here. But, yeah, so, you know, Chelsea has won everything in the last 10 years. But this season is definitely a turning point for them. Because who is going to be your coach? What players are going to be left? Then you're facing a ban where you can't buy players. You try to appeal the ban so you could buy players and set your team up for when the ban is really applied. And they said, nah, we're banning you. You can't appeal the ban and buy shit. You're banned. So this is a very critical season for Chelsea, man. Like, they are pretty much screwed in the offices and on the field. So good luck. Wolves is 7th in the table. They have 44 points. And, you know, what a story. They're up from the Championship. It's their first year in the Premiership in a long time. And in your first year with 8 games left. You're 7th. You just beat fucking Man United in the FA Cups, in the FA Cup. So you're still in that tournament, and you've cut the heads off a lot of giants, and you're playing attractive football, and this coach has set himself up for a career in top flight football. You know, and he worked this team out at Premiership. Like the eyes are on him, eyes are on the players, and I don't know how long Wolves is going to exist in the form that it is now, because people are going to try to buy this whole thing apart. So we'll see how strong their front offices is, and how much are they going to be able to hold this organization together, and how much our players are going to want to bail anyway. Because sometimes, you know, you're at the bottom of a barrel and a twig starts floating up, and everybody jumps on the twig, and then people help each other onto the twig, and they all paddle it to the top. But once it gets to the top and you see a better boat, you're like, fuck this twig. Everybody's like, man, I want to get on that boat. I want to get on Spurs. I want to get on Liverpool. I want to get on Man City. I want to get on Man United. So how much are these players going to want to stay? This is probably a once in a lifetime season for Wolves, the way it is now. And then, and I know people are under contract, but what does a contract mean these days? When you want to go, you usually get to go. Oh, shit.
I mean, I went to the fucking other place. I don't know where this is. I know. I follow people. I don't know how to get here on my own. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. What's up?
Playing?
Yeah. What up? I asked you a few questions.
What?
I asked you a few questions while you weren't here.
What was it?
Well, like we click over to the empty chair, and I'd be like, yeah, All right, cool, thanks, Bobby. All right.
Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. It's like I know this is a soccer podcast, but I'm just gonna tell you what happened. So, I went to the Philippines, you know, where my girlfriend's from.
Is that where she's from?
I think so. Yeah.
She's half.
Yeah. The best kind. I only do Asians if they're mixed a little bit.
Yeah.
If 3% white is what I like.
3% white.
Yeah. Right. Just a little hint.
Right, a hint of white.
To know that you're winning.
Yeah.
If you look at a full Korean or a Filipino, you go, yeah, other Filipinos and Koreans can do this. But when you have a little bit of white, you win a little bit.
You win a little bit.
It's a tiny bit.
A tiny bit.
Yeah.
All right.
But so I went to the Philippines, and then I got really sick, and so don't touch. Oh, I touched already.
Well, you barely did. So cool.
Yeah,
I
okay,
appreciate
cool.
that.
Yeah, bowl your hand. And then I woke up today, and my car would not start.
So you got your car sick.
My car got sick.
What type of disease are you bringing from the Philippines that translates to fucking automobiles?
Well, it's fast, the sickness, because I'm Korean and my car's Korean, so it's like it's more susceptible.
And
it's like sickle cell anemia with black people.
Right. He's stupid. So does your car is Asian? Does it have a hint of white in it too?
Yes, 3%.
3%.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. And so then I got stuck in traffic, and I had to borrow my friend's car, and then I got stuck in traffic. And then I panicked, and then I went to that old ATC place, and then
where'd you go? Raleigh?
Over there at what?
Soapbox.
I went to Soapbox, and I'm here now. But I'm so sorry, bro.
I should have just sent you the address. I just assumed.
Yeah, but I've
seen videos with you here before.
I know, but who's in? Look at that guy.
Oh, that's Mike.
I know, it's Mike. What? I'm here now.
How Magical just said, go find Bobby.
I know. I called Allie, but I panicked.
We got a search party.
Yeah.
For you.
I'm here. Thanks, Mike.
There's an APB for you.
I'm here.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for finding Bobby.
Yeah. He didn't do his job. He was supposed to wait outside.
That's hilarious.
But anyway, but now I'm here. I'm sorry I'm late, but I know I'm Tiger Belly's on All Things Comedy, but I do it from my home.
Right. Oh yeah.
So I come, but now I know. So anyway, I'm here.
That's all good.
Congrats on your team.
Yeah, but this is a weird time because we just lost 2 in a row. So it's like
You won PSG. That was a great night.
great night.
You played Arsenal. You
And,
lost,
yeah,
but you should have
fucking know
won.
what happened?
You should have won.
Maybe not. Like how?
Because I feel like the first goal from Zaka was, well, first of all, he does these long range shots, and a lot of times, the 99% of the time,
They miss.
Yes. He luckily, it was a beautiful shot.
It was a bit,
No deflection. It was
Right.
it was precise.
it's crazy the way that shot just dipped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was because even De Gea was not even, he was in position.
Yeah, and going for it.
Right, he was going for it, but it was such a weird angle. I think there was a couple of guys blocking his vision.
Uh-huh.
And by the time it rolled in, it was just too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that goal, right? That ball swerved so much, it looked like a goalkeeping error until you watch it 10 times from different angles. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, that shit knuckled.
It knuckled, but
Yeah.
it's also a lucky shot. I mean, it's
Yes.
the way it swerved. I think he panicked. So his foot hit it in a weird way where it spun.
Uh-huh.
And then the second goal.
Because you're not going to tell me Xhaka's left foot is that good.
Right.
It's like he's had this left foot that good all this
Right,
time.
yeah,
Fuck
no.
that. No.
He's tried so many times. And then
Yeah.
the second goal was, I think, a soft penalty a little bit.
Yeah.
It was soft.
Yeah.
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 And you guys, I felt like, were great that game.
Yeah. But here's the irony.
Okay.
Like, I remember when you guys first got Xhaka, and I always watch Arsenal games.
Thank you.
And he tried that shot and just miss all the time. But
Right.
but the first time he ever scored a long distance goal like that was actually not this game, but another game when he first came into the league against us. And I'm like, why the fuck did that shot work now?
Yeah.
And then this last week again,
Yeah.
that shit fucking worked.
So you lost to us, but then you had another match on.
Yeah.
Who'd you play?
He played the Wolves in the FA Cup
FA Cup.
on Saturday.
What can I say about Wolves though?
I know.
No,
Go ahead.
their head coach is a wolf.
Yes.
Right, he's the hair.
Yes.
I really think that he's like, he was a wolf man. You know how they transform it at midnight. He stopped transforming. Right, so it's
hilarious.
mid,
He's stupid.
and then he became the manager. But that dude right there, can I say something about Wolves too? He seems like he's a part of the team.
Right.
Like I feel like that he is in it with, like, you know how a lot of like in war, you know, sometimes the sergeant is there with
Right.
his platoon or whatever, but sometimes they're in like a tent and they're just giving instructions.
Yeah.
He's out in the fields with them, it feels like.
Right.
And so they fucking play for him.
Right.
They're gritty, dude.
Yeah, they're gritty.
Yeah.
They're everything. They're gritty. They have finesse.
Yeah.
They defend together. They attack together.
Yeah.
They fall back into position. It's like that liquid, the Terminator. I don't know what the form that shit was.
Yeah.
But you
Just call it liquid.
Yeah. It's just called liquid. Yeah, you don't want
T2,
to fuck with
T2, the T2 type.
The T2,
Yeah.
T2 type. And I was just talking about them too.
Wolves?
Yeah, Wolves.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just talking about them too.
If you would have lost to Fulham, I would have laughed in your face. But Wolves, because we play Wolves, I think, next. And in the Premier League, Arsenal does.
Let me see.
And I think we do.
You got
And
Newcastle next.
oh, Newcastle, and then I think Wolves is soon though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have past the schedule.
Yeah. But and they're a good team, dude. So there's no shame there.
No. I mean it's not even shame. It's just like we're so high from just winning.
Yeah.
You lose one and you could deal with the one, but then 2 in a row. It's like, but listen, it was bound to happen.
Especially when they haven't fully given Ollie the job yet. I feel like, honestly, I feel like if you lose 2 more, I'm being real, that he might not get it.
That would be dumb.
I know, but can you see that happening? Like if he starts going in a losing run, that he might. They'd be like,
Well, this is if he lost 2 more, right? This is what I would do. I would take the losses, which would be just 3 losses. The 3 of the losses would be. Here's the crazy thing. You beat PSG, right?
Great match.
You beat PSG.
Mm-hmm.
So then you do the Champions League draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you lost one of the matches to PSG.
Mm-hmm.
So now you draw Barcelona. You just opened yourself up to lose 2 games to a team that's better than you. And it's like, so how do you look at this later on? Like, well, he lost this amount of games, or because he won, we lost more games.
Is that who you guys drew?
Yeah, we drew Barcelona, bro.
Oh my God.
We got him right where we want him, Bobby.
No, it's gonna be a slaughter.
That's what they said.
Louis Van Gaal.
That's what they said about
all
PSG.
over again.
That's what they said about Louis Van Gaal.
All over again, Louis Van Gaal.
It's stupid.
Dude, that dude was the worst.
That's hilarious.
Louis Van Gaal.
I don't know if he
Okay,
was
let's go through since Sir Alex Ferguson.
Mhm.
I want to ask you, like, rate them from 1 to 10, the managers you've had, and I think you've had 3.
3.
So it started with
this is our fourth.
it started with David Moyes.
Right.
So rank David Moyes 1 through 10, but don't compare him to Sir Alex Ferguson.
No,
That's
I'm not
impossible.
gonna. I'm gonna compare him to just what a good manager should be.
Sure. Okay. Good. 1 through 10. David Moyes.
He came in and he made mistakes
Mm.
at a big club,
Mm-hmm.
and they never gave him a chance.
Yeah.
But I think they just and they're like, it's an Everton guy, so we're not even gonna give him till the end of the season. They're like, fuck him. So can I rate? I say give him 5.
And if they were gonna do an ugly kid award, he would get it because have you ever seen?
Ugly old kid.
No, David Moyes as a kid.
Oh shit.
Holy
Let me see.
fuck, dude.
Let me see David Moyes as a kid.
It's like Bill Burr that has some sort of mental deficiency.
He's stupid.
Look. As a kid.
As a kid, I had to make sure I spelled Moyes right first. Let me see. Are any of these him? Wow.
Yeah, it's not the black eye man. He
Why-
was
why
black
does-
as a kid.
Why did they get it right and then they go to a black kid?
I don't know.
That's not him.
You spelled it wrong. It's Moyes, I think.
Moyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
as a kid. Wow.
Look. It's like, he was the first guy to get Ebola,
Wow, bro.
right? Like, look at that. I went to Africa. I got Ebola.
So you mean to tell me that all the time I've been looking at David Moyes
Yeah.
and thinking he was ugly,
Yeah.
he actually got better looking.
Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Like you were
is-
looking at David Moyes like with a makeover, with the new teeth, and the like Botox, but what he came with into the world was
Wow.
not good stuff, man.
He was like on some LA girl diet in this shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Looks terrible.
How did you even know about this? This is
I
crazy.
I always Google managers as kids. I want to know what they look like. It's okay. So David Moyes from 1 through 10.
So Moyes 5.
Okay.
Van
And then
Gaal,
came Van Gaal,
6.
right? And then came Mourinho.
Mourinho. I'll give Mourinho 7.
That's
Because-
a pretty good number.
You know why? Because everybody's like basing Mourinho on this season. But he came,
Mm-hmm.
we won 2 things,
Mm-hmm.
right? He says 3. Charity Shield, he counts that. I'll count it too, maybe. But nah, right? But we won the Europa League,
You did?
and then we won the Caribou Cup.
The Caribou Cup.
Caribou Cup.
Congratulations.
Shit, I'll take
I'll
it.
count that, yeah.
Yeah.
Count that.
And then so he won that.
Mhm.
Then the next year after that, he came second, right?
Yeah.
Second, right? And he got us Matic, and we came second. Yeah, Park, So the first half of this season, he fucked up, and
Let me say something about him. Is what you get from someone like that is you attract players. He got you Pogba, right?
yeah,
That's a huge one,
that's huge.
right? A lot of the team was already there, right?
Yeah, but he also got us Matic.
You also got us. You also got Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, but yeah. Jesus.
Thank you.
I'm trying
Thanks
to
for
find.
taking him.
I'm trying to find but he was playing good with you guys.
Yeah, but if you look back though,
Bobby's an Arsenal fan,
I-
by the way.
They don't know that yet?
I want to make sure.
Yeah. I'm a huge Arsenal fan.
Huge Arsenal fan.
That's the only club I like.
You didn't play this week, did you?
No, we didn't. But could I say this, though?
Mm-hmm.
When I started watching soccer back in, it was 2006 is when I even knew what it was.
Right.
And in 2006, there was 2 teams I actually liked. I liked Arsenal first, but I also liked Man U.
Right.
Because of the fact that you guys had a Korean.
Okay, Park.
Yeah, Jisung Park.
Uh-huh.
And I also loved the history of Man U. I think that class with Beckham and Scholes and Nicky Butt and all that, that was a great class. You guys were a great team. Ryan Giggs, legend, right? Yeah. And then when Sir Alex left, I just stayed with Arsenal and I kind of forgot. But let me say something.
So then you were kind of like both up until when Sir Alex left, or I thought you were more Arsenal.
I was kind of both, but then what happened? Because if you look at my in my closet, I have jerseys, and I have jerseys up until Sir Alex left.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
How come you don't wear them?
Because I don't want to. First of all, I look weird with my body with soccer because now they're fitted for buff or like guys with regular bodies, and they don't have it for like, my type.
What is
like
your
dumpling,
type?
like dumpling size,
like dumplings.
Fit. Yeah.
Dumpling. There's no. Okay.
Yeah, I'm misshapen, so it looks weird on my body. But but I can get behind Man U now because of Ollie, because I've always liked him.
Right.
I think his career was cut short because of injury.
Okay.
Is that what happened? Right.
I mean, I think he played long enough. He just was always a substitute. And I gotta look it up. I can't remember if he left at some point.
No, I think he got an injury.
Go start somewhere. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think it ended his career. No.
I don't know.
Look it up. But I really do like Ollie a lot. I think he has a baby face, and I think that he doesn't come with the kind of ego that Van Gaal or Mourinho brought you. I think he's much like the Wolves guy, which is when he's in the locker room. Yeah, they know he's the manager, but they also
failing to recover from a serious injury.
Yeah,
however, he remained at Man United in the coaching role as well.
In the coaching role, right? So his career was ended short because of an injury. He
2007.
He could have done more. So I think that I like that. I like him. I like what it did to the team. I think that it would be an absolute shame if he didn't get the job. I would laugh like a fucking hyena if he doesn't.
So there's why. For your joy?
It would be my joy, and it also be your downfall, and also on top of it, it would just be...
That's how football works.
Yeah, it would just be something that I could see happening for some reason.
You know what's crazy? Like, it's like you just created Frankenstein and he just turned on you, or you created a monster if you don't hire Solskjaer. If you don't hire Solskjaer, Sarri's probably going to get fired, and guess who they're going to probably hire to be the new Chelsea coach?
Mourinho?
Nah, Solskjaer. If we don't
I don't think that Ollie would go. Ollie has too much of a history.
Yeah, but he would
Man
be pissed enough and justified enough if he'd put in all this work. You can tell he's putting his heart and soul into this, right? And you could tell Mourinho didn't. And then
is it that, or is it
he wants to work?
I understand that, but Ian, is it that, or is it that your players just didn't like Mourinho and didn't play for him?
Nah, Mourinho coached. He got the whole thing wrong, and he got it wrong based on his ego, based on arrogance. And he's a good coach. He's won titles, but he just got he started the season like his style of coaching doesn't work with these group of players. And then he didn't believe in them either. Like Ollie came in, like you know, all right, we're comics. We're at the store, and we see comics. Their careers are where they are based on their fears, and their careers are where they are.
Yeah, because of what's the last thing?
Based on their say what?
What was the last thing you said?
Based on their fears.
Fears.
Fears. Yeah.
Fears.
F-E-A-R-S.
I thought you said fairs.
No, fears.
Fears.
Yeah, fears. Okay. Yeah. And then you see the people.
You're Jamaican. I don't.
Yeah, my accent comes in. It's tough to get a Korean guy to understand a Jamaican guy.
Yeah.
Right. and then you see the people who are like that are loose, don't give a fuck, and like just living like with it all out, like with just like living with love and enthusiasm and encouragement.
Right.
We see how much further those people are.
You know, it's so interesting that you drew that analogy because in many ways, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys who are angry, that don't have a lot of allies, things can go well until, you know, it doesn't.
Right.
And then at that point, there's no safety net.
Right.
Right. They have no allies to protect them. Whereas I just feel like, I want to talk about me real quick.
Okay.
I just feel like in many ways, because there was times in my career where it wasn't going well, you know, where it was.
I mean,
what? Where it was really bad.
I mean, go ahead.
No, what are you gonna say? I don't like what you're doing right now. What is it? Why are you giggling?
Like, define well.
There was times where, okay, here's the thing, okay.
Because your measurement.
Yeah, it always is your measurement.
Exactly. Your measurement is different than my measurement.
I understand that, but the thing is that, you know, when you're here, right, and then you're here, that's an obvious thing.
Right.
You're here could be above somebody else's.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But still, right, you're basing it on your experience and how you feel.
You're basing it above your hearing.
Right. Okay. I feel like I know what I'm worth, and I feel like I know what I can do.
Right.
And you know, when I see, like, I'll give you an example. When I see an Asian dude, just hear me out. When I see an Asian dude do something on a show, and I go, oh, I can't do that. Right? Like, I'll give you an example. Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan.
Me too.
And when I saw Steven Yeun for the first time, right when I saw him, I'm like, fuck this. That's my gut.
Right.
Fuck this guy, right? This kid, right?
Because he's good?
Yeah, no, it's just, you don't know. He's in the first scene, you can't tell.
Right.
But after a couple episodes, you're like, oh, fuck, this guy's so good. And he's also just likable, and just he knows what he's doing. He's right for the part. He's a good actor. And I know him now.
Right.
He's a nice kid. He deserves everything that he has.
So you were happy when he died on the show?
No, I wasn't, because now I have to audition against him.
Well, here's the that's funny.
Yeah, right.
So here's the funny thing. So he fake died on the show one time. Were you happy then? And then the motherfucker came back alive, and you're like, shit.
No, I was
and
opposite.
Then he came back so that
when he came back alive, I'm like, good.
Yeah.
He's available.
I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, he's not available.
Right,
and him and I are completely different types because I'm like 20 years young. But I have seen him in auditions.
Right.
One time I literally was in an audition, and it was like fucking 2 scenes in a fucking comedy movie.
Right.
And he sat down next to me and he goes, hey, dude. And I literally folded up my paper and I left.
You didn't audition?
I just left. And then I waited for him to finish. And he knows this.
Right.
Because I've talked to him about it. And I went, dude, what do you audition for 2 lines for in a movie? Dude, you're way bigger than that.
You're just as big.
No way.
Yeah.
You're out of your fucking mind.
What? Look, Bobby.
All right. Don't even do that.
Bobby Lee. Let me ask you a question. The
Yeah.
show you're on now, is it splitting up together or
Yes.
alone together?
Splitting up together.
Did they change it from alone together to?
It was 2 different shows. I did 1 episode of Alone Together, but I'm on Splitting Up Together.
That's not confusing at all. All right. Just wanted to make sure, clear that up.
But there was a time in my career, Ian, let's go back, where I thought, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like,
I get that.
I can't, no, because I couldn't get an audition
For like a week?
for years.
Years?
For many years.
Yeah.
And then I could see other people, like, you know, Kenja, my types, all these guys working. And I went into a real, like, depression. I'm like,
right.
I was doing the road. I was making a living. So,
Right.
I mean, you know, maybe that's what a comic.
Man, that's what I was looking at.
Right. I don't look at that.
Right.
I look at where my trajectory is.
Right.
And it wasn't, but, you know, but at those times when things weren't going well, you know, Chelsea Handler would be like, just do the show. You know, so I did her show when she was on, you know.
Did that help?
It kept me afloat.
Right.
and other people would go, hey, come, do this. And so, and those aren't.
You had allies.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Is that I had allies because I never really burned any bridges, and they're my friends.
Because you're a fucking fun guy to be around.
Maybe, I don't know. But
real talk.
Get off my IMDb, whatever you have.
Oh, you want me to go on your other IMDb?
No, don't. Just go to soccer.
David Moyes.
Yeah, go back to David
the
Moyes.
baby David Moyes.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're right in many ways. So what you're saying is that some managers they separate themselves because they are
I just think he's
negative.
Well, here's the thing. He's competitive with Pep. He's thinking legacy. He wants to outshine Pep. He's not there to really rebuild. He's there to like, hey, give me your money so I can buy a brand new fucking team and put on the field so I can blow people off the park.
Right.
And he's not really coaching. And then if a player messes up one game, he's done with them. Like some of the boldest coaching I've seen in just football, all the years I've been watching it, was with Solskjaer, and he's only been coaching for Man U in front of my face for 3 months. Like I saw Pereira slip in a game against Burnley and give up the ball, and the Burnley player take the ball and put it in the back of the net, and the whole stadium's looking at this fucking kid, and I'm like, shit, if I'm coaching, he's done. And then a few games later, they throw Pereira in.
Yeah.
And they get him a little 10-minute run. And then a week or later, they have injuries, so they have to start him. This motherfucker scores he scores a goal that you don't expect him to score until like 5 years into like regular play.
Right.
You know, and it's like that's love. That is not fair. That is not like isolating somebody and shutting them down. That's like being encouraging, and that's like believing. And that's the complete opposite of what Mourinho was doing. He did not believe.
Like, here's the thing. Aubameyang on our team, he wasn't doing it. The last month, you could see him losing confidence, right?
Go ahead.
And then in that game against Man U,
oh boy,
they gave him the penalty kick, right?
Use this as an example.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
All right, do it.
And the reason when they gave it to him, the players did, I think Laka and people like you take it, is to help him build his confidence, right?
I like that.
I like when a team does that, like when other team members or even a coach is trying to help somebody out build and get confidence within. I think that is the love that you're talking about, because we love this guy and we want him to be happy and we want him to be.
It's like when I first came to the Comedy Store, you just got off. You had a pilot.
All right.
Let me just say it.
I know.
You had a pilot.
Yeah.
And Bobby seen me do stand up, but he's never seen me act or anything.
Yeah.
And he's got a pilot. This is like, you know how Comedy Central pilots are. Like you get a pilot. And it's like Chappelle got a show, now he's Chappelle.
Right.
And Amy Schumer got her show on Comedy Central, now she's Amy Schumer. And then the Broad City Girls and what's the other guys, the show that Eric was on? Workaholics. So this is your shot.
Right.
And you're like, hey, I want you to be my
lead.
My
second lead.
My second lead, would you?
But the reason why but can I say this though?
Right.
If they and I believe this, if they let me do the show I wanted and had you, I think I also wanted Natasha Leggero, her or Morgan Murphy, it was like they both came in red. If they would have let me do what I wanted to do, I feel like it would have been much better off, but they didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah, but I fought for you because here's the thing. When you see certain people, you're just convinced, right? I know what they represent. I know what their voice is. And I know street credibility, right? So I don't, and also you're a nice guy. So in my head, like I didn't know you that well, but I just knew what you represented and who you basically are, right? And I just thought this is the guy. But in that case, it didn't work out. But of course I did that because I still believe that you're one of the best. And
thank you.
And that's why I drove fucking with no car and all that to get here.
I appreciate all that.
Idiot.
And then, you know, because of what's happened lately, I don't even know if I've, like we always joke and I always talk to you, but, you know, I guess you got to tell, I don't want you got to tell people you appreciate the things.
Thank you.
You know.
You're welcome.
You know. And let's go eat after.
I hate. You know,
but I hate hearing people thank me or whatever.
I hate compliments.
Yeah,
I hate that kind of stuff.
Take
But,
it, Bobby.
you know, I don't want to make this. Forget it. I was gonna say something, but I'm like editing it out.
Oh, go ahead.
No, because I don't want to toot my own horn. I feel like I was about to toot my own horn.
Okay. Yeah, don't do that.
I don't want to toot my own horn.
Yeah.
But you guys, you're fine, dude.
We're fine. So let's talk top 4. There's Liverpool. There's Man City.
Okay, Man City, Liverpool for sure.
So what order?
Man City's gonna win the league.
Do you want them to, or
I don't want them to. I hate them, but I think they're gonna win the league.
Why?
Because
I know, I believe so too, but I'll tell you why after.
Because I think in Pep, they have a winner there.
Right.
I think that he's an incredible manager.
Mm-hmm.
I think the team he assembled is fucking incredible.
It's like the fucking Avengers.
They're like the Avengers, yeah. And like,
we need
do you
Klopp
think
to
I
come through
like
with that Infinity Stone? And
right? yeah. You think I like Sterling? You think? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
But he's incredible,
I
right?
like him.
Kevin De Bruyne, I don't know kind of season he's having, but from what I know of him, he's incredible. I mean, the team is incredible. Aguero is on fire still.
Yeah.
He just, you can when he has the ball, his intention is to do damage.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he misses, like I think a couple matches ago, he missed a couple of obvious ones, and you can tell that he's just like he suffers, right? And that's what you want to see, that kind of hunger.
Right.
I think that Liverpool is almost there. I don't think they're. I think they could win.
They could.
They could win, and they have a great manager in Klopp. But I think that still it's going to be Man City. I think that Tottenham is losing their confidence.
Right.
I think they're losing now. You know, they're on a non-confident streak.
Right.
And I think because I think Chelsea's done. I think it's going to go Man City, Liverpool, Man U, Arsenal.
Oh, yeah. All right. Even though you don't think you could finish ahead of us, Man United?
I'm only saying that because it's your podcast. I think that we could, yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, I don't mind if you do, just as long as we get 4. I want 3 or 4.
Can I ask you this, though? Yeah. I mean, if I was a player, why do you want a Champions League?
Because for us, now I feel like we have some type of direction, right? And that's a good question because I'm gonna ask you that.
I know I get that,
right.
But I get why a club wants to because of money it generates.
But I'll tell you why.
But as a player,
I'll tell you why.
I gotta play Wednesday.
Glory.
Right.
The best players know they want to be on a world stage in front of, like, you want to be Ronaldo. You know, you want to be like, people in your country are just going to see you play. Right. But like, my time is limited now. The only time I get to see, I didn't know who the fuck was on Ajax until I saw them whip up on Real Madrid. Right. You know, because, you know, and then you get bought by better teams. And, you know, so you want that. It's like us graduating. It's like, why do you want to be on CBS and all them other channels is to boost your comedy profile.
It's like when Gareth when Tottenham was in the Champions League, like when Gareth was still playing for them, Bale, and no one really knew who he was.
Right.
They played Inter Milan that match,
Jesus.
And he scored 3 at the end or 2. They were brilliant goals, by the way.
Yeah.
And no one knew who the fuck he was. Yeah. And afterwards, Inter was like, "Can we buy him?"
Because everybody was.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Can we buy that guy?" So you're right in that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why he went to Real, because of maybe that showcase.
That game. Right.
Yeah. I was just kidding. Yeah, you're right. That's why you want to.
Yeah, glory. Yeah, glory, man. And
it's a showcase for the world. To see, and that's why I think that going in the World Cup is also extremely important, because, you know, you could literally be a nobody.
Yeah, that too.
Right, and score against Spain.
Right.
And then all of a sudden go, oh fuck, they want me or whatever. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could, you know, it's funny. It's so parallel to comedy. You know,
Yeah.
in certain sense, like it's like you're in the clubs, and then Comedy Central offers you a show or some channel, and you're doing well in the clubs. You could be selling out, but then there's this whole audience that hasn't seen you. But if you have a show on Comedy Central or CBS or NBC, they'll see your show, and then those people will know more about you, and your fandom grows.
I kind of want to be like Ibrahimovic, just from show to show.
Right.
Right. I know I'm the king. Right. Nothing really works out, but still everywhere I go, there's hoopla.
It works out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It works.
It does work out for you.
Yeah. It does work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing that.
Yeah. You know, also, can I say this about the MLS?
I got it.
Why? You don't want to talk about the MLS?
No. But do you want to go to an MLS game?
No, I want to. Yeah, I do.
LAFC.
But here, the reason why I don't is because I just don't know much about it. But if you were going to invite me, I would go.
Yes.
Because maybe I'll get hooked.
Yeah. I'll show you.
Yeah. Because here's also the reason why I want to go see that team is because they have who has Carlos Vela?
They do. LAFC.
Yeah, and I love Carlos Vela because he used to play for Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember?
Oh yeah, when he was young.
When he was young, yeah. And I thought he was good then.
I want to show you this thing on the phone. Fuck this thing. I don't want to. I want to show you this thing on
skateboarding. What?
Well, let me just go to the gallery. So, I've been going to some LAFC games. Now Rogan wants to go, but he couldn't make it the other day.
Who's that?
He said, "Who's that?" I know, right? Who's that? Who's that guy?
Yeah. Let me say something about Joe Rogan. I've known Joe Rogan for about over 20 years. And he hugs me. We talk for a while. He's super nice. But still, I can't be myself or completely comfortable with him.
Is he the only person?
No, there's a couple of guys out there like that. Like the other day, Chappelle came up to me and he goes, "Hey, my son's a fan. Let's take a selfie." Right?
That's dope.
And I said something ridiculous like, "I'll do anything for your son." Like I got like really like needy and like, you know what I mean? I'll bend over. I think I said, "I'll bend over backwards for your son," right? And it made it like kind of weird and gay. He's like, "All right, whatever, dude," and he just took the photo. But like I
not
played
the last gay thing you'd ever do.
I know, but I overplayed it because I got nervous.
Right.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm like anyone that's like above me who I'm a fan of, I can't get comfortable.
Just accept that, because I'm not comfortable around everybody either.
Yeah.
But my temperament
is the same.
Right. So maybe on the inside, I'm like,
I've learned. No, I don't think that Joe thinks that of me.
Right.
I don't think that if you ask Joe, do you think Bobby Lee's nervous in front of you, that he would say, yeah.
Right.
I think that I learned to play the character
of
Bobby Lee
right.
with him specifically, but that's not really how I feel. Like, if I have an opinion, he'll say something about like hunting.
Right.
Yeah, went hunt deer or whatever, right? And I want to say, is that, like for me, I would want to say, yeah, but it's a poor innocent deer. Do you want to kill it? You know? But me, I go, yeah, hunting, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like
you sell the deer out?
Yeah, I sell the deer. Yeah, down the road because I get so nervous. Like I even if Chris Rock says something, I go, yeah. Like I'll just respond in a really weird way. Whereas you're my peer, I'm not like that with you. Even someone like Chris D'Elia, no. Because
who's that?
Right, because I knew them before.
Right.
Like anyone that you know before, right? It's like Tim Allen. I was at that smokehouse. The weirdest fucking thing happened. I'm sitting there eating at the smokehouse, and this lady from a table goes, "Bobby, over here!" Right, and I kind of recognized her, but I said hi, so I had to get up to come to the table. But then Tim Allen's there, right?
He's at her table.
Yes.
Okay.
And she goes, "You know Tim, right?" And I go, "Hey, I'm a fan." He goes, "We've talked."
Hilarious.
I go, "Yeah." And then he goes,
"Yeah."
Then he goes this. He goes, "You eat here a lot?" And I go, "Yeah." And you know what he says? He goes, "Me too." And then he does this. And he laughs maniacally. And then I just walked away from the table. It was the most awkward. I don't know how to do it.
So sometimes it just is what it is. You know how they say sometimes when, like, if you're nervous, you picture the person naked. With somebody like Tim Allen, just picture their worst movie.
Right.
And you be like,
But I love all his movies.
shit, he did make a lot of. All right.
I love LA Galaxy. It's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
You ever see LA? Not LA Galaxy.
I know what you're talking about.
What's the
Aaron knows.
what? Galaxy Quest.
I knew you
knew.
knew.
Is that movie great?
Yeah.
Missy Pyle's in that. She's great in it. Anyway.
What? Well, any other celebrity that makes you nervous, think of their worst project.
Yeah, it doesn't work. In fact, one time, Mike Young, you know Mike.
Yeah.
He calls me at 3 a.m. I was living in Silver Lake, and he was drunk, and he goes, Lee. I go, what? I was sleeping. I go, and he goes, I don't know where my car is. And I go, and? He goes, because he knew I would be up. He goes, pick me up. I don't know where my car is.
Hilarious.
So he was somewhere on Vine.
Uh-huh.
I got up. I picked him up. I go, where's your fucking car? Have you figured it out? And he goes, yeah, I know. I'll tell you where to go. So we drive up the Hollywood Hills.
Oh, shit. I know where this is going.
Right? And
So I
his
know who he
car,
hangs out with.
right, his car is in Tobey Maguire's house.
Yes.
So I pull up. I go, who the fuck lives here? Oh, my friend Tobey Maguire. You know Spider-Man. I go, yeah? And he goes, yeah. And anyway, I talked to them, and they said him, Tobey, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg, they're all jacuzziing in the back.
Hilarious.
And he goes, they said that you can come too.
Which is, like,
Right?
I'd just be nervous to meet them in their clothes.
Right.
But now they're, like, in jacuzzi.
But,
I don't
here's
see-
my fear, is that let's suppose there's a 1% chance there's some gay shit happened, right? Like some Hollywood gay shit happened. I would have to suck their dicks.
You stupid, bro.
No, I'm being real. If like Spider-Man's dick is right, and I'm in the jacuzzi, I'd have to go, right? Because you don't want, you know what I mean? You don't want to be burned from. That's the top, right? So then you're like getting rent, you know what I mean? And you're like, I should have picked the phone for Mike, but like that's why I didn't go in. I just dropped him off and I left.
I wouldn't have answered his call.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go.
this is me and Greg Fitzsimmons at LAFC.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
So,
I love Greg. Wait, you're on the pitch?
Yes.
Does Greg like soccer too?
He does now.
Oh, if you
And I
can-
went with Eric too, and we had great seats too.
dude, if you can get me great seats, I'm there.
I'm gonna lie to you and tell you they're great seats.
I don't want to. Here's the thing.
Right.
I want to go. I'm being honest.
No, be
and
honest.
That'd be great, dude.
All right.
And maybe I'll become a huge LAFC fan.
Listen, I'm becoming an LAFC fan. Like, I've been to Galaxy games. You ever been to a Galaxy
No.
game? I've been to Galaxy games, and the first LAFC game I ever went to, I was like, bye Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they have this cheering section that starts an hour before the game and continues an hour after. They work harder than the players. They keep the whole thing together. The team responds to them. It feels like when I post the videos, people in Europe are like, but where is that team? What European team is that?
Right.
Like, it's that atmosphere.
Wow.
You feel like they nailed it, bro. They fucking nailed it.
Well, you know, Seattle is also the same way, right? They're like
Right.
really behind their team.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about MLS,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna make me cry almost. I like to get vulnerable and something. But here's the thing, okay?
Because you let go of my hand.
It's weird. Here's the thing: is that, you know, nowhere, because when I started watching soccer, there was no league here,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And in your head, you think there's
There's
never
never
going
gonna
to be a
be a
league.
league.
There's no way,
Right.
right? And then when you heard MLS, you're like, it's not going to work out. They tried it like in the 80s, right, or something, right?
So you're conditioned for failure of soccer in America, yeah.
But then over the years, you go, you know, you hear things like Steven Gerrard plays where?
Yeah.
What, Lampard went back up, you know, and then all of a sudden, like Rooney's at DC,
Yeah, he's
right?
doing good.
He's doing good. And
Zlatan.
Right, Zlatan, and they're getting legends.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's toward the end of their careers,
Right.
but still, it's really fucking exciting, dude. So it's like, I would like to get involved. I just didn't know how
Come see
to
Vela.
do it.
Come see Vela play.
Who else plays for that team?
They don't have names that I can remember. Like, I don't know the whole team. But it's just like, remember when you started getting into Arsenal?
Yeah.
You know, you didn't know all the players until like one day you kept watching. You're like, oh shit, I know everybody. I know this whole system.
Right.
So you can't be like, there's a pressure to know everything because it's soccer and people are gonna ask you questions. And it's like sometimes I go to UFC fights if I'm doing shows with Rogan, and then people start throwing these names around. I don't know these fucking people. But then slowly but surely, I like just listen. If I don't know these people, then it's cool. I'll know them when they come up in fights, and I watch them, and then you get to know them. And then you're like, I'm still don't know 85% of UFC, but I know enough to like.
I know a lot about the UFC. Who's Tyrone Woodley?
He's doing well right now. Did he just lose?
He lost.
He just lost.
To Usman.
Yeah.
And it was brutal.
Oh, yeah. He was on a win streak.
He was champion.
Oh, shit.
Usman came in there. It was almost as if a man was fighting a boy.
Oh, shit.
I've never seen Tyrone Woodley in a fight. If you look in his eyes, and he knew that he was going to lose.
That's kind of crazy because I saw on Instagram the press conference, the pre-fight press conference, and that guy was telling Woodley what he's going to do, and Woodley was like talking shit to him.
Yeah.
And like, so that guy?
Dude, that guy, Usman, is so fucking scary.
Damn.
I think he's going to be champion for a very long time.
Damn.
Anyway, here's the thing about LAFC, and I get what you're saying. Here's the thing, is that
you can touch it, guy.
Okay. Here's the thing,
but just don't hold on to it too long.
All right. What's weird with a sport like soccer or any sport, especially soccer, because Americans, they don't know much about it. Yes, the Women's World Cup, and we won it a couple times.
That's coming up too,
and they're great. And I watch every Women's World Cup. I love any form of soccer, and I also love the U.S. women's soccer team. I love it. And I saw that documentary, Dreams Come True, or whatever that they did about it. You should see the documentary.
Actually, I need to watch it.
It's great. It makes you cry. But the thing is that soccer is one of those things where generations upon generations of family, it comes with that kind of history. Like you look at North London, right? And people are just born into an Arsenal home.
Right.
And they're diehard fans. It's in the blood.
Right.
And for me, it's like, I don't know why Arsenal's in my blood, but it is.
Right.
But it took
That's beautiful.
a very long time. It didn't happen right away. I was just kind of like, I'll tell you the reason why I even started playing it is GameStop.
Right.
My brother and I were at GameStop, and my brother's like, we should play a sporting game to fight against each other.
Is that how your brother says?
Yeah. And I go, I just don't know how any of it's played. He's like, well, soccer's easy. It's like, just put the ball in the net. And I go, all right. So we bought this game called 2006 Road to the World Cup. It only had international teams on it. And I don't know I didn't know who Beckham was. I didn't know who anybody was.
Right.
So we put the game in, and you can play England versus France or whatever, right? And above
did England do terrible in that game too?
No,
Jesus.
But England had like 5 players on it. And when you played it, there was a star above their heads.
Right.
And I think in the England team on that game, Lampard, Gerrard had a star, Rooney had a star above their head. But I used to play with France.
Right.
And Henry had a star above his head, and he was so good in the game that I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? So I started researching him, and then I
like you researched Moy's baby pictures.
In a creepy way.
Yeah.
And I then I started watching Arsenal games on TV, and then one day I saw a thing about the Invincibles.
Oh yeah.
Right, and it was a great team.
Right.
And I just slowly became obsessed.
The funny thing about sports, all sports, but soccer is like I don't watch soap operas, right? But sports I watch, but it has the same stories and subplots as any soap opera. Like you liked a part of the reasons why you liked Man U along with Arsenal was the story of Man U. like the 5 kids coming up.
Yes.
It's like, how could you not be attracted to that? Which is part of like this story now with Solskjaer. It's like the son of Ferguson, just comes back to save this team.
Game of Thrones, bro.
It's Game of Thrones, and then Rashford is from the academy, and then there's Lingard from the academy, and then Pogba is from the academy, and then you have like, oh, is this gonna happen again or some version of
with
it?
Pogba, like a boy that returns home too. That whole story. Yeah, it's funny because Arsenal too has that, which is like, we had a king for so long.
Oh, yeah.
And he started losing touch.
The Dragon King.
Right? He started losing, right?
Shit.
The Dragon started losing touch,
Yeah.
right? And a young man rises or fills a spot. Can he do it, Emery? And he starts doing it.
How do you feel about Emery?
I honestly don't understand how anyone knows what he's saying ever, because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. His English is so poor, and he looks just I don't know, man. But here's the thing about him that's different than Wenger is that he's not afraid. He doesn't succumb to star power.
Okay.
Whereas Wenger was like, I have to play Ozil because we're spending this much money on him, and he's a marquee name.
What do you think?
Whereas Emery is like, Ozil isn't going to fit in this game. He won't, I'd rather use Torreira or whatever, What do you mean?
Because I'm not sold on Torreira.
Okay, I was just using that as an
No,
example.
I know. I'm just voicing that.
Right.
What do you think of Ozil?
I think that he shows up on certain games,
Right.
and then some
He does.
games he's completely invincible.
But isn't that
invisible?
Isn't that like a lot of players in the league? Is Ozil? How old is Ozil?
29, 28, I would assume.
Is there a possibility, as good as Ozil is, he might be overrated?
I think that is a possibility, but
So that's why
I
we
have to.
expect more.
But I do have to say that in terms of experience,
Right.
he's played in some World Cups.
Yeah.
He played for Real Madrid.
He did, and he played good for them.
Very good,
Very
right?
good.
And he is a magician,
Right.
He has a mind. His thinking process is a little bit above everyone else. His reflexes
Right.
and his vision, right? His passes are so good sometimes, like precise,
Right.
right? But I think that he doesn't have Ji-sung Park's work rate.
Right.
I don't see him tracking back a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? I see him a lot of times wait for the ball, right? And I think that he's not defensive-minded in many ways, right? That's why he brought up Torreira, because he's a young kid, but when he's on, he's very good defensively as well, right? And he also offensively, you know. But I think with Torreira, it's his youth, and it's a physical game. The Premier League is extremely physical, and he's a small guy, right? But I think that why I like Unai Emery is that if it's not going well, he will change tactics.
That's good.
He'll change formations. He'll make substitutions that he thinks. Whereas Wenger never did that. He stuck to the original game plan. I think that some of his approaches were a little prehistoric in terms of training and medicine.
How was his training? Because
I'm not there at the training camp. This is things that I've read. And
what'd you read?
I don't know. I can't tell you specifically what article I read.
I'm not gonna go tell you.
I'm just telling you that there's some articles that I had read that some of his methods were very like 90s, and
shit. That's not good.
Yeah, in terms of
Yeah.
So I think he's a younger guy. I think the record shows that we're doing better this year.
So this record with you guys, 60 points after 30 games, it's ahead of what it was last year. And last year you were out of.
We never did. The last 2 years we didn't get Champions
League. So you have a chance this year.
We have a chance this year, which is good.
And Spurs is really helping you. Spurs is helping us too.
Spurs
and Chelsea's
Spurs is helping us. And also, I do also have to say we had that one run that we're like 17 games, no losses.
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't had a run like that in a very long time. And I think that he's the right fit for right now. I don't know, is he going to bring the kind of trophies Wenger did in his early days? I don't think so.
I think you could win Europa League with him because he's a Europa League winning king. So if you win that, that's something.
But
that's better than an FA Cup.
But here's another thing of our consistency. It's like, we lose to Rennes.
Yeah, but
then we win.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like.
But you beat us after, too.
Yeah, we did beat you.
Yeah.
After we lost to them. Yeah.
But here's the thing. So some of these news people, I think if it ain't perfect, then they panic. And then they put the panic on these people's jobs. And it's like, hey, man, like Salah's not scoring right now, right? So the big talk is about him not scoring. It's more about that than Liverpool beating Fulham this weekend. And then they're like, hey, you saw the game. He took a shot. The goalkeeper could not control the ball. And Mane was about to jump on a rebound. And the goalkeeper fouled Mane. It's not an assist. But he took the shot that caused the penalty, and he's involved.
Yeah.
And it's like, how important is it Salah scoring or them winning? Like Harry Kane is scoring, and Spurs is losing now.
Yeah.
So just stop.
Yeah.
Stop focusing on the wrong shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about it was breaking my train of thought. I had a fucking point. It'll come to me.
All right.
Yeah.
You know who I love on Arsenal more than anybody?
Who?
The player I would steal from you guys.
Who?
Guendouzi.
Yes.
Guendouzi.
Yeah, I like him too.
I'm in love with that kid.
I love
bro.
that guy too. He's young.
Yeah, like he came in first day one. Like, I'm like, so he's played somewhere professionally before. No,
Yeah.
19?
19, yeah.
How the fuck is he doing that?
I don't know. He's a great buy though.
It's like,
And that's all Emery.
that's Emery.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he stays, I don't think you'll fire him. I think Sarri has a better chance of getting fired than. So I think he'll stay.
Who?
Sarri from Chelsea.
Hey, but who do you think is gonna get fired? Emery? I mean, Unai?
I mean, I don't think he's
gonna get.
Yeah, he's not gonna get fired.
Yeah, they're gonna give him 2 more years.
But right, and he's gonna get the chance to bring in make more choices like that, and get people like that. And I think I think
Sarri's fucked.
Yeah,
he's out.
Yeah.
You
can't be.
Here's another thing about Chelsea is that Abramovich, is that the guy that owns it? Yeah. He really is the manager,
right,
of that club. I don't think any manager can come to that club, right, and after about they do a 6 losing streak, that they feel safe. I think there's no commitment there. I think that they treat their managers, like expendable.
Yeah, they treat their managers the way Conte treated Diego. What's his name? Costa.
Yeah.
They're like, I'll get rid of you.
Yeah.
We get rid of managers around here. We don't give a goddamn.
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh, I want to talk about Alexis Sanchez real quick, and because you asked me the question before, why did he play so good with our team?
Why
and
the fuck?
I'm going to tell you the reason why.
Jesus.
Because when Alexi was at Arsenal, like I said earlier, Arsene Wenger, he succumbs or he lets stars, right, get away with things, right, acting like a little baby. Because if Alexis Sanchez would get subbed when Arsene Wenger was in charge, sometimes he would pout and cry like a little baby, right, and it really showed a hissy fit. Okay. At that club, he was treated like a fucking star.
Right.
Because he knew that he was probably one of the better guys on the team. He knew he's getting paid, the most, I think, him and Ozil, right? And you could tell that he had power there. When he goes to Man U, he realizes that there's 12 dudes on that team that have more power, that are as good or better. Just in terms of if I was Alexis Sanchez, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm on a team with Paul Pogba.
That's it. And then now
Martial's
Rashford
great. Rashford's coming up. I mean, you have come on, dude.
No. I mean, I'm also
Lukaku's good.
I'm also
at
suffering
times.
from Mourinho syndrome. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a Stockholm hostage type of syndrome
Yeah.
where like the players are beginning to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And when they completely do, then I'll probably completely believe in them too. But like, I don't know
But
if
I don't think that club though also feeds into Alexis Sanchez's ego, right?
Right.
Right? You're gonna act like a baby. Oh, you're not playing well. You're out
Right.
until you step up. They're not gonna cater to him,
Right.
and give him a bib, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Wenger did that, so he would when you get enough playing time and you know you're the shit on the team, of course you're gonna play a little better at times. You know what I mean? But he's a crybaby, and also, can I just say this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't miss him from the club.
I mean,
I didn't like the guy in the first place.
You didn't like him when he was there, even though he was like one of your best players.
I don't like players that think that they're above
Okay.
the actual fucking team.
Right.
Okay, it's like, oh, you're great, yeah, but you're not Henri.
Right.
That's a fucking legend right there,
Right.
dude. You're not, even Freddie Youngberg back in
Yeah.
the day. That team,
It's hilarious.
right? Ray
Uh-huh.
Parler.
Right.
Come on, dude. Fuck
hilarious.
Alexis Sanchez. But anyway,
I mean,
I'm glad
we're stuck
I'm
with
glad
that problem.
I'm glad you have that problem. And I like Mkhitaryan.
Yeah. I mean,
We traded him with him.
yeah. I mean, for me, the jury's still out on him. I know he has abilities, but
He's 50-50 on my
he's
part,
like
yeah.
Ozil to me.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's like
Hit and miss.
yeah, hit and miss and show up and miss. But when he shows up, he shows up.
Yeah, it's funny that do I know enough about soccer to even do this podcast?
Yeah, I mean, we're almost.
Who does this podcast?
I mean, we're almost.
Galern?
I mean,
How many?
you
how
might
many,
know more than Galern.
How many comics know about soccer?
More than I thought.
Like who though? To give me a couple names.
All right, so he's not a comic, but he does this podcast with Sam. So he stepped in like last week, and then
Who?
He's Xavier.
Uh-huh.
He does Triple E's podcast, and he works with George. What's his name? Perez on his podcast.
Oh, I like George Perez. Yeah.
So then he stepped in, and then Stuart Thompson.
Yeah.
And then an Indian guy, Neil Chakravarti. He's a comic from San Diego. Just hit me up out the blue like last year. And then I'm like, shit, I do need guests. I had a stranger come over my house and do the podcast there. And then he's been coming down. And now we
I'm
know each other.
offended that you
hung
never
out.
really asked me to. I did it
did.
one time.
Yeah, but you're
years
busy.
ago.
But you're busy.
I know, but I think that you and I have the kind of relationship
Right.
where you can go, "Are you available?" I'll do it
You told me
anytime.
that. You told me that, and now I'm gonna ask you more.
Yeah, I'll do it anytime you would
Right.
need me to do it. Especially
Right.
when things get heated, like later in the
Yeah, we
toward the
should
end.
have did that Man U Arsenal game.
Yeah,
We should have
but
spoke the week before.
I also
after.
think we should do it in crunch time.
Yes.
like a month before the league is done.
when we kind of hate each other because of the position our teams are in against each other.
No, I honestly, if Man U goes above us, I won't. I like that story.
You know.
I
All
like
right.
the fact that Ollie's there. I like your story.
Right.
Yeah. There's some teams I just can't stand. Like Man City is like an oil company team.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's like we have money, we're gonna buy everyone. We got the best manager. It's like almost unfair, and that's why I love the Leicester story. When Leicester won that year, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
That's the greatest.
2016.
That's
I think.
the greatest sporting story of all time, I think.
And it happened the perfect year because I knew we weren't gonna win, so I was like, I don't want none of you guys to win. So perfect. Let it be Leicester.
I know this has nothing to do with soccer, but it has to do with sporting. Did you see that documentary Free Solo?
No, I don't have Hulu.
You can buy it on iTunes.
All right.
Okay. Can I give you the money? I'm gonna get fucking around here. You fucking idiot. I mean, you fucking cocksucker. Here's $20. Okay. You're going to watch Free Solo.
How much is Free Solo?
$19.95.
Jesus Christ!
You get
For
20
one thing? That's 1 month of like.
It's a movie.
That's 2 months of a thing of a.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
All right,
I'm going to tell you why about Free Solo. Okay.
Hilarious.
It's one of the greatest sporting achievements I've ever seen. I think one of them. I know I just said the tagline to the movie, right? I think I just said the tagline for the movie, but so I didn't make up that quote. But when you're watching it, right? It's just man versus nature. It's man's will, right? It shows. I don't know, man. It really just is an inspiring, crazy fucking movie.
How did it change your life, even just for a minute? Because you know how sometimes things inspire us, and like, I'm gonna do that, and then the next morning you wake up like, fuck that thing. It does stick in the back of my mind.
I think for me, visualization. You know, visualizing something that's almost impossible or difficult to do, and if you think about it and you plan and you train, and you slowly get more confident through physicality or what your game plan is. And for you, I mean, El Capitan in Yosemite, you know what it is, right?
Yeah, it's a slab of mountain.
It's just one slab of a fucking mountain that, like, in the 1950s, the first people to climb it, it took months to climb. And that's with rope, like chiseling, you know what I mean, rope, and them climbing it, and then sleeping in a sleeping bag, and then waking up and doing it again for months. This dude does it within 3.5 hours, no rope.
Oh, he did it in 3.5 hours?
No rope. No rope.
You know what's like Free Solo? Just any kid in the hood that survives high school. But it takes the whole 3 years.
Yeah. Well, you have your own. That's the black Free Solo. This is a white Free Solo.
Yeah, we have our own version of Free Solo.
I know you do.
Life Free Solo. Yeah.
But did you see that video of that lady?
Which one?
You saying the N-word in that
white lady?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to see this.
I think I have her name because I get obsessed with people like that. You gotta say. White woman's racist. Okay, her name is Corinne Tyrone.
Spell it.
Corrine, and then you should come up.
Oh, yeah. Seen as COR, and it went to her.
Corinne. Yeah.
Let me turn it on. I can.
Okay, let's see.
I should have put it on this. I can show this, right?
Yeah, as long as it's not like TMZ or something.
Let me just watch it with you. I'll turn the volume up. I'll just do it here. Who's that racist that you're getting caught out doing this now? Like,
right.
Like. Oh,
that's not the right video. Get the one with where she actually says it.
Oh, they bleep.
Don't bleep out the N-word.
Hilarious.
What is it? The fucking Disney version? Come on, man.
Hilarious.
Just go to videos.
All right, let me see. You know how to work this
thing
better than me. Videos. All right, hopefully this is 44 seconds. Hopefully this is the same.
Here's what you do. Go to Instagram. Go to Instagram. Can you go to Instagram on that? And go to Michael Rappaport's page. And he has the full thing on his. And it is...
Damn, how many weeks ago did she do this?
What the... I think you're watching the best of Michael Rappaport. I'll just do it on mine, dude. All right? Let's go.
No, this is Michael Rappaport right here.
I know, but if you do it like that, I think it just goes to his, like, the best. It'll start with not his latest, but his... sorry, guys. Here. I got it right here.
Sorry, soccer fans.
Sorry, soccer fans.
And people say, what do you think about why you're looking for it? What do you think about the Jack Grealish situation?
I don't know who that is.
So he's a player. It's a championship. That's the league below, right? So last week, Aston Villa was playing Birmingham, which they're local. That's a derby.
Yeah.
And they're playing, and a fan from Birmingham ran on the field and punched him in the face.
I think I did read about that.
Right. And then he goes down. They take the fan off. And then this motherfucker continues to play and scores the winning goal in the game.
No.
Like, he is cemented.
Is it on video?
Yeah. He is cemented in that club's history.
Yeah.
My friend sent me a... Let me see, go to my Facebook thing.
I got to call my girlfriend real quick. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Okay. I know this is unprofessional, but you can cut this out. You can cut this out.
No, I'm leaving it all in. This is podcasting.
Hey, Dad.
So I'm still doing the podcast with Ian. I mean, what?
Hey, boo.
It's Ian.
Hi.
Hey, sweetness.
We're on the podcast now.
Hi.
How you doing?
So Dr. Drew's coming over now?
At 8:30.
Oh my God.
To do your podcast?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right, I'm going to end here in about 5 minutes, and I'll race home.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Does Dr. Drew know anything about soccer?
No, he doesn't.
All right, he sucks. All right.
We'll do the video next time.
All right.
I got to go. I love you, though.
I love you.
And I'm sorry that I'm late, but the next time I'll be here earlier.
All right, cool.
And I'm going to look up, text me I want to look that up, that story.
I'll send it to you.
How long did we do? We did enough, you think?
We did at least an hour.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's a complete podcast.
It's a complete podcast?
Yeah, and I'll just wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
When you're gone.
Okay, good.
But thanks
I love
for
you so
coming.
much.
Love
Dude,
you, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks for
and
everything.
I'm being real. Watch the fucking thing.
All
I
right,
want to talk
will.
to you about it next
Yeah.
time.
All right, cool.
All right.
We'll talk about it at the store.
All right.
All right, everybody. Bobby Lee. Told you.
Good to see you, dude. You don't like me anymore?
All right, and we'll talk about free solo. I got the $20 right here. Goddamn right, I took his $20. He was late, son of a bitch. All right, I'll get ready to wrap this up. So, just going to the Premier League table. Let's finish this thing. Let me just say, let's go to FA Cup. So me and Bobby went all over the place. So, let me see. This is the league. So in the league this week, Bournemouth and Newcastle tied 2-2. So back and forth affair, great match, goals everywhere. And this is about accurate score for these two teams, 2-2. And Burnley played Leicester, I watched this match today, and it's a pretty exciting match. The match started with Leicester getting a red card to their best defender. Maguire, defense got split. He got caught behind the player who had a shot on goal. He clipped the player. Player went down. The ref showed him a red card. So then Leicester plays Burnley from the 3-minute mark on with one man down. And they just, Burnley first, but surprisingly, Leicester handled it pretty well. So Rodgers, he's in his third game, as Leicester coach. His team looked well coached, and he had a good mixture of the young and the old players. And also, when they lost Maguire, he had to make a sub. He took out Damani Gray and put on the Jamaican, what's the fuck? Morgan. He put on Morgan from the championship team that Bobby was talking about. Captain Morgan comes on the field, and Leicester goes up 1. With 10 men, they go up 1. Then Burnley scores 1, makes the game even. And then in the second half, on a fucking corner, the sub, Morgan, who came in because they were one man down and they had to replace an attacking player with a defending player, scores the fucking winning goal of the game. Rodgers couldn't have drawn this plan up any better. Get Maguire a red card early so you could put on Morgan, take out Gray. Went according to plan 100%. Great job, Rodgers. And then another barn burner of a game in the league this week was West Ham versus Huddersfield. I'm watching, if you were watching another game, and, you know, when you're watching a game, they show the scores of the other games that are going on simultaneously on the top right-hand corner. And I can just imagine if you're watching whatever game you're watching, and then you're seeing 0-0 West Ham Huddersfield. Then you're like 1-0 West Ham, 0 Huddersfield. All right, that's going according to plan. Then you see 1-1 West Ham Huddersfield. And you're like, okay, so Huddersfield got one back. And then you see 2-1 Huddersfield West Ham. You're like, what? Oh, shit, I guess they got a lucky goal or something. And then you see 3-1 Huddersfield. 3 Huddersfield, 1 West Ham. You're like, what the fuck is going on in that game? Huddersfield, the team at the bottom of the fucking table, and West Ham, who's on an upswing. What is going on? Like, what is West Ham doing? Are they blowing this thing? And then you keep watching the game you're watching, but you keep checking the score at the top of the right-hand side of the screen, and then you see Huddersfield 3, West Ham 2. Oh, West Ham pull one back. You look down, watch your game, look back up. It's West Ham 3, Huddersfield 3. You're like, what the fuck? And then you look back down, you watch the game you're watching, and you look back up, and you see West Ham 4, Huddersfield 3. Orders restored. Crazy-ass game. And I might go home and watch that. I haven't watched it, but I might go home and watch that. I've saw the highlights. Chicharito scored, I think, twice, 2 headers. And so, yeah. So I'm just going to wrap this up. Wolves is in 7th. Watford, did they play? I think they played in the FA Cup. So they are in 8th with 43 points. West Ham, they're in 9th with 42 points. Leicester is 10th with 41 points. Everton, 11th with 40 points. Bournemouth is 12th with 38 points. Newcastle is 13th with 35 points. Crystal Palace is 14th. I think they played a FA Cup game too with 33 points. And Brighton Hove is 15th with 33 points. Southampton is 16th with 30 points. Burnley is 17th with 30 points. And Burnley, they lost to Leicester. You had a one-man advantage for the entire of the game. You're hovering above the relegation zone. Last year, Burnley would have won this game. This is Jekyll and Hyde Burnley. Now they're back into Jekyll territory. They've lost their last 4 in the league. And Southampton might not be the team that has to worry about hovering above the relegation zone and getting sucked down into the murk with the others. Burnley might have to be that team. And Cardiff is right behind them, 2 points behind them. And they have a game in hand over Burnley. And they have 28 points. And Fulham, they are 19th with 17 points. Huddersfield, 14th. They're in 20th place. They wish they were 14th. They have 14 points. So, yeah. So, thanks, Bobby. Thank you for coming by, man. I feel like you have to go. And you have your own podcast. And Dr. Drew is your guest. So, you should go now. Go handle that. Thank you for coming. Love you, brother. And everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. Name is Ian Edwards. Hit me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic. Twitter, the same, at Ian Edwards Comic. And there's something else. And you can cop my album on Spotify, iTunes, CD Baby. It's called 100% Half-Ass, produced by Conan. That's also there and available. Love you all. We have a lot of soccer coming to a culmination at the end of this season. It seems like 8 games is a long way away. There's an international break, but shit just happens fast. Let's just enjoy this all together. Love you. Thank you, Aaron, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you. 1.